Christmas is we own, them Grinches can't tell me nothing. This year, Christmas is we own, Grinches still have nothing to share.
100 grand the passing rum, knock a bottle and join in the sum. 50 grand for goods and groceries, with monthly and weekly. Like Shack start to shake the app. My DGs be shaking that. Prime bundles is all we buying. Digital plus, yeah we sing, yeah. This year, Christmas is we own, yes it's only app we use it. This year, Christmas is we own, digital and love you share it.
Celebrate Christmas your way, with more ways to win, more incredible prizes from Digicel. Better together this Christmas.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Broadcasting from Trinidad to the world. The Street 919FM.com. News from the Street 919FM.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon. I am Vanessa Thomas with the 4 o'clock news on the Streets 919 FM and online Facebook and YouTube. In the headlines, health worker protests for overburdened nurses. Today is the deadline to apply for the Education Ministry's laptops program. The Met Office warns of drier than usual 2022 dry season and internationally high protests across Europe over new restrictions. And now the news in detail. A man bounded his hands with a chain at the San Fernando General Hospital to protest the overworking of nursing staff. Richard Gulcharan, an industrial relation officer at the Public Service Association, sat under the morning sun at the roundabout near the foyer. He said his protest was for the citizens of TNT. Gulcharan said sick people are meeting insufficient resources at the hospital. According to Mr. Gulcharan, the current ratio of nurses to patients was currently 1 nurse to 30 patients when several international bodies recommend ratios of 1 nurse to 3 patients or 1 nurse to 4 patients for ward-level care. However, health workers said patient care was suffering as management transfers staff frequently to the Point Fortin and Augustus Lung hospitals to treat COVID-19 patients. Meanwhile, workers say they are working against a 2015 policy and agreement that nurses would work 8-hour shifts with 2 days off during their rostered week. However, they say there was a breach of this policy without discussion with the workers. Hospital staffers prayed with Richard Gulcharan as he staged his one-man protest this morning. The Trinidad and Tobago Met Service is warning of a drier than usual dry season in 2022. As a result, the Met Office is urging the public to start practicing water conservation methods and encourage awareness of the possible implications of suppressed rainfall, which would lead to insufficient water supply. The Met Office said La Nina, a weather condition which is described as cooler than normal sea surface temperatures in the central and eastern tropical Pacific Ocean that impact global weather patterns, has emerged and is likely to continue into the 2022 dry season. The Met Office said suppressed rainfall is likely to have the highest impact from February 2022 onward to the end of the dry season. The Education Ministry is reminding parents and guardians that the deadline to apply for a laptop for a child under the government's laptop program is today. They have until the end of business today to sign up for the means test to determine their eligibility. The ministry reminds the public that students who are already in receipt of a device obtained through other initiatives should not complete the device provision form. Internationally, tens of thousands of people have been marching in the Belgian capital, Brussels, to protest against anti-COVID measures. Demonstrators are mainly opposed to the use of COVID passes, which stops the unvaccinated from entering venues such as restaurants or bars. This comes after fresh protest in the Netherlands against new lockdown rules. Here we have this BBC report telling us more.
Another day of unrest, unsettling another European capital. This is Brussels tonight. What began as an organised peaceful march quickly turned nasty. Some protesters threw fireworks at police. Others targeted their vehicles. Officers intervened with tear gas and water cannon. Belgium has just brought in new rules in response to a sharp rise in infections. Demonstrators are mainly angry about the use of COVID passes, which stops the unvaccinated from entering venues such as restaurants or bars. Some object to plans to make vaccinations mandatory for health workers.
We know that the virus is there, but we leave it to people to decide whether or not to be vaccinated.
I came to give my opinion about freedom of expression and individual choice, and really to be able to respect everyone's choices.
The Netherlands witnessed the most extreme violence this weekend. Rotterdam was rocked by rioters. Police opened fire, shooting at the crowd with live rounds in response to what they described as a life-threatening situation. Vandals torched bicycles in The Hague. The Justice Minister believes organised criminals may be behind this.
And that was the 4 o'clock news on the street, 919 FM, and online Facebook and YouTube. As we go, recapping the headlines. Health worker protests for overburdened nurses. Today is the deadline to apply for the Education Ministry's laptop program. The Met Office warns of drier than usual 2022 dry season, and internationally huge protests across Europe over new COVID restrictions. Do enjoy your afternoon and continue to be safe. I am Vanessa Thomas. Aisha Wells, she's up next.